palace coup of a cabinet reshuffle that Tinubu just announced. So yesterday, around this time yesterday, so it was announced that the Minister of Defense, Abubakar Badaru Mohammed, resigned his position on health ground, and immediately Christopher Musa, the immediate past chief of defense staff of Nigeria, was invited to the Asshole Rock, where it was like confirmed that he would be nominated as a minister. Christopher Musa is from the north central of Nigeria, and somehow when he was appointed, it was a little bit celebrated as, somebody who is a Christian from this north central, the middle belt part of Nigeria, and it would be more dedicated to the fight against the terrorists that are, ravaging this part of Nigeria and the rest of Nigeria as well. So at a point, some believed that he did a great job, that when he was removed, right, the attacks, the kidnappings, the this and that escalated. Just like this same period is being referenced to the Donald Trump's reaction or Donald Trump's threat. So bring him back, make him minister. Maybe he will have more control or what have you. But Badaru, from the grapevine, where you can say, information behind, the scene was that there are some pressure, right? Because initially everybody believes that these guys know what to do. They know the right thing to do, okay? And they just choose not to. Or those around the supposed president giving him security advice are not telling him the whole truth. But is it just those who are providing the security advice? What about other people who are also privy to some of what is going on in the country, comparing that to what these service chiefs and others, like the Badaru, who is the NSA, advising Tinubu? So behind the scene, it seemed, when Christopher Musa was removed, it became obvious that, they would have to let some people go. The chief corporate, the person that everybody expected not only to be removed and sacked, but in fact to be investigated and possibly probed, is the supposed junior minister, Bello Matawale, or Matawale as he is commonly known. So Badaru is the substantive minister, supposedly. How come he is always mostly like non-existent, right? So they had to ask him. Badaru himself is also pretty much on the throes of being asked. Similarly, Patawale. But how much power do these guys actually hold? And how much of this protection they are, somehow are providing for these supposed terrorists? So there are so much going on behind the scene, as it is said. So Badaru is the first person to go. So when he handed his resignation and Christopher Musa was brought in, there's a bit of celebration, typical of Nigerians, okay? And forgetting the fact that it is not that Nigeria doesn't have the resources to actually crush these terrorists, all right? The only thing missing is the political will. Political will means if the Tinubu genuinely want to crush the terrorists, all they have to do is to make sure that the chain of command is followed all through enough that the terrorists will know that there is no room for negotiation or whatever anymore, okay? But the political will also would have its own consequences, like the real sponsor or the backers, the enablers of these terrorists. There are also people who hold some level of political sort of like a control in that Nigeria. Here you get. So would Tinubu will either sacrifice his own second term to protect Nigerians, or it would only sacrifice Nigerians to protect his own second term for as long as it takes? So the option is always with the person who gives the order. I want these things to stop. And a month pass. Rather than for it to stop, it escalated or somehow, right? So you will automatically know that those you sent to do the job have either failed because they are incompetent or because they are sabotaged. Something like that. So removing Badaru, keeping Patawale, the man that once said, not all bandits are criminals. So let's start with the boring part. The boring part is when Tinubu delivered his armed forces said, opened in a speech inside the Aso Rock today, where he eventually spoke about a few other things. Now I'm going to play part of that. That's the boring part. The other after that should be interesting, right? So like the broadcast, share it now that you are here, right? And then once you feel bored, but don't make that so quick, okay? Once you feel bored, tell me to stop this clip. It is called Earlier Today.
Celebration, a Remembrance Day emblem, and appeal fund. This solemn occasion reminds us of the bravery and sacrifice of our fallen heroes, men and women who gave their lives in defense of our nation, in global peace missions, and in operations at home. Their courage is the foundation of our freedom and unity. Today, we also pay tribute to veterans and salute our serving troops who continue to confront terrorism, insurgency, banditry, and other security challenges. Their resilience, often in the face of grave danger, remains a source of national pride. As a grateful nation, we must honor the fallen, support the wounded, and create and care for all who answer the call to serve. Armed Forces Remembrance Day, marked every 15th January, is a reminder of the cost of peace and the importance of unity. As we honor our heroes, I call on every Nigerian to reject divisive rhetoric and embrace respect, tolerance, and understanding. Our diversity is a natural national asset that must be projected and cherished. Our armed forces have demonstrated exceptional courage across various theaters of operation. Their efforts have restored normalcy to many communities and strengthened national stability. And under my administration, we have entrenched collaboration among security agencies and recorded significant gains. Tens of thousands of insurgents have surrendered. Key terrorist leaders have been neutralized, and many captives have been freed. In our maritime domain, oil theft, piracy, and illegal fishing have been curtailed, supported new platforms, and advanced capability.
If we lend ourselves to innovation, we can create wonders. Here is a successful, again, a town hall, different from Bulaba.
I've stopped him. Like I said, right? He was there, like praising the military, providing security, restoring some communities, people back to their communities. This is the problem. Let us first not deny the efforts and the sacrifices of so many Nigerian soldiers. Many of them who have become collateral damage in this war or jihad waged against Nigeria. So we are not depreciating your efforts. We're just pointing out the fact that despite all that effort and all of the ambushes, all of the sabotages, and all of that, the government continue to present like you are actually winning it when the reality out there is saying otherwise. So how do you tackle a problem if you are not acknowledging its existence, its severity and seriousness? Then you make it your priority as a government. When you keep telling yourselves that they are doing fine because you wanted to make it sound so like that on print, they're lying to you about the number, what do you call it? The quantity of crude oil that they are currently exploring from Nigeria. These people who are dealing with a false, fake data that doesn't match reality, they cooked the figure and said, if you are working, if you are doing a job that you are even earning, even if you are doing 1 day job in a week, making it 4 days jobs in a month, you are considered as employed. So therefore, the theory or the statistics that show that over 40%, 44% Nigerians were completely unemployed, while more than 80% Nigerians were underemployed. If Tinubu came, they reshuffled it, they called it rebasing. Now they are saying that Nigerians are employed. Unemployment in Nigeria is just 4% or 4.2%, and they are working with that. So if you don't identify the problem, or acknowledge it rather, how then do you mean that you want to solve it? Here you get the economic value of Nigerians doesn't match the population of the country. So rather than for that population to be an advantage, it has been a burden so far. So, but they are telling themselves that no, it is not like that. Their own economics says if you are doing just 2,000 naira job a week or 5,000 naira, it doesn't matter. You are employed in that sense. But they actually have no real data to capture that, right? That's a different conversation. But here, Kolu is talking about people being protected, the military, this and that. And we should remember those who have sacrificed their lives, but you won't even mention their names. If you ask the Nigerian army right now, the hierarchy of the military, and tell them, like, can you give us the data of the Nigerian soldiers, Air Force or any other force guy killed in the last 10 years since by these terrorists, right? Put pictures on their names, right? Let's see who they are and the number. They won't do it for the sake of national security. A government in secrecy, shielding everything in secrecy and all that. They have so much to hide, living on false like statistics that never really matches the reality. So that's what Kolu was talking about there. And that is one of the reasons why reshuffling government, reshuffling ministers, service chiefs, and all of that, they are not enough without the political will. Me, I want to give them benefit of the doubt, though, because we all need it. We need this peace, right? Or they should just let us, all of us, go grab our own means of defending ourselves. You get what I mean? We all need it, right? So we can give them benefit of the doubt as much as they actually want nothing. to be given such benefit of doubt. But we, at this point, you want to. Is it that if Tinubu now have the political will, what Christopher Musa couldn't really do when he had all this command under him, including when security or soldiers were withdrawn from the communities where these terrorists attacked? All those things, is he going to have more power now? Because as a minister, I don't think he can really give any order that much, except the president. It's just probably going to, I don't know what intel he is going to have access to now as a minister that he didn't have access to then, being part of those who are the theater of war, according to them. So, but again, you want to give them benefit of the doubt and say, what are they up to? Here is a guy that worked with their DSS. He's a security guy, right? Talking about this.
And the president immediately is all now thinking about bringing back from retirement Mr. General Christopher Musa, the immediate past CDS, to become the minister. What do you make of that, the scenario?
Well, first of all, it's unusual for a Nigerian to resign from office. I'm not saying it's not practicable, but it's unusual. If you recall that some ministers have been rushed out of this country for medical treatment, yet they remain in office. We've not heard of any medical record of Badaru, only for him to say he has resigned because on health ground. Now, there are other speculations too that he was forced to resign due to some ongoing changes by the president. If you look at, in a sane country, in a civilized society, he ought to have resigned since. You know, last week or so, 2 weeks ago, he made a statement that the Air Force cannot bomb the forest because the bomb cannot penetrate into the forest. I mean, does it make any sense? He doesn't have the security background. And for him to be Minister of Defense, you know, we politicize everything in this country. So I don't think what we should be doing is how do we move forward. Then now comes the appointment of CG Musa, the former CDS. I was one of the people who was shocked when he was removed as the CDS. And I don't know whether it's coincidence. Since he left, there was escalation and upsurge of attacks, mass kidnappings and all this. So I think the president has done well by bringing him back as Minister of Defense. He worked very closely with other service chiefs as a chief of defense staff. He commanded their respect among the various agencies. The president, the former minister, didn't have the respect or command of these service chiefs. All the service chiefs, at least they are senior for now, and Minister of Defense. So he's going to be in firm control. You know, he's an outspoken person. He doesn't hide his feeling. He wants the job done. He boosts the morale of the soldiers. So I think...
He has no job. Yes.
Forgive me. There's that, that pessimistic gene still very much inside me because I have heard loads and loads of talks. Are there more attacks now than before? The answer is no. Are people paying more attention to those attacks now than before? The answer is yes. Especially the last 2 months. I mean, if I have to be for real, if I have to be curating and collecting just those ones that made it to the internet, the numbers of attacks daily across Nigeria, you are going to give this platform a different name. I've had people who have said that, for example, this morning, when Ribadom said the 315 school children, school girls kidnapped at the St. Mary's Catholic School in Papiri, Niger State, the National Security Advisor to Tinubu